Hey, this is Henry Sanders back with another episode of Real Talk. We want to thank our sponsors at Park Bank. Thank you for everything you're doing for us. Thank you for Facebook Journalism Project. Thank you for supporting us at this time. Well, we are back with my friend. Like, we took a week off, right? So like, there's always so much that happens, and I feel like it's been like a long time since we talked, since like the world has changed so much. Brother, Lieutenant Governor Mandela Bounds, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right. Happy to be back. It does feel like it's been forever, but always excited to be on the show. Always excited to talk to you.
Yeah, bro. We got back in rhythm now. Let's get it back in rhythm. You know what I'm saying? I still see still Rick Ross in the game, though, huh?
It's still growing.
It looks good.
I don't know. We'll see.
That looks good, bro. So a lot's going on. Actually, if you remember last time we talked, I think it was last time we talked, I was asking about the Badger bounce back and the ball seems to be deflated, and does the ball have to become bouncing back? And we were both predicting that the numbers would go up, and they have. Really a big time. There was like 9 deaths, I think, yesterday or today, and it was 7 of them, 4 of them were black folk.
Well, I was going to say, as of yesterday, there weren't any new deaths. It had to have been the day before yesterday.
Okay. And so numbers are going up. Hospitalization rates are going up.
We had a 9% positive test rate. There were 404 new cases, and that was Monday. And that was the first time in a week that new cases were below 500.
So you know my question. You know where I'm going with this.
About the deaths too, my bad. Let me just clarify that for the deaths, because that was for the third straight day. There were no deaths. So for 3 straight days, there were no deaths.
Right. And so we have all this going on. We reopen up when COVID-19 happens. You guys kind of slow down state, make sure people, responsible, self-quarantine, etc. Republicans come in, basically override you, go to a legal case, override you guys, open back up the state. Numbers are going back up to the point that Dane County actually came back and said they put more restrictions on people. Have you heard from Republicans on this? Have you heard their take?
No, man, definitely haven't heard from Republicans on this. And I know you talked about Badger bounce back, the ball feels deflated. I was like Badger Hog Day. The Badger crawled out, saw his shadow. Now we got however many more weeks of COVID.
I think it's going to be a long. I think because what's going on right now. I mean, don't you think this is going to really go on to I'm guessing to the fall, right? I mean, this is going to.
Think about this past weekend, how many people were gathered, not masked up, not social distancing. And that's going to, in my opinion, that will likely present us with a bunch of new cases. And that means, when we have a large spread like this, you get the wildfire effect. More people are going to be in contact because more people are infected.
Do you think there's a chance? Well, let me rephrase that. If the governor decided that he wants to put more restrictions back in the state and tell people they should, go back to what you guys were doing before, your banned your bounce back plan, all that stuff. I just want to understand the process. Has to go back to the Republicans too, right? So Republicans have to also agree on that process, correct?
Right. The legislature would have to act because, try to do another emergency order, they would run to the Supreme Court again in the face of all this infection and death.
So then what, I mean, this has to be frustrating for someone, the governor, if you believe that the right things to do is to, have people wear masks and stuff, quarantine, all that stuff. So what do you and the governor do knowing the political realities that the legislator most likely will not let that happen? What do you do?
It's beyond frustrating. And at this point, it becomes just a public information campaign where we, work to encourage people and encourage businesses. But local government still has the ability, even though there was a little hiccup in Racine with their emergency order, where the court stepped in. like this is going to be just kind of ongoing chaos, unfortunately, that it's going to be legal challenge after legal challenge. But where the ability is left to do something, i.e. with local government, I think that mayors and county executives should take advantage of those opportunities to keep people safe.
Yeah. Well, it's sad that, politics get in the way of health, and there's people getting sick and there's people being affected. Hospitalization rates are up. I mean, all these things are bad signs, and we still have the whole summer to go, right? I mean, it makes me nervous that the numbers seem to be going up, and I still don't think we have a plan to deal with it, especially if the Republicans are controlling the legislature, which means they really can help really dictate what's going on. That concerns me a little bit, man. It really does.
I'm absolutely concerned, as we should all be.
Yeah, and I'm not, people, you know me by now, I'm not about Republicans and Democrats. That's not my thing. However, I am for people in health, and I think we need to do everything we can. I think we've proven that we can't self discipline ourselves to be safe. So impacts everyone. But that's sad. But thank you for answering that question, brother. Let's talk about as you know, some of the protests has been going on, and some statues been broken down, pulled down, and I know Michael Johnson put out a suggestion that in the Capitol there should be Val Phillips, should be a statue of her, and I think Sheila Stubbs came out and talked about how that there's really no pictures of color or anything in the Capitol. What do you think about that? Like, at the time where people are becoming more woke, and people they want to advocate more, and they want to see more symbolic gestures of like a statue and thing of people of color. What do you think about those ideas?
And so a part of me thinks too about like the whole statue conversation is that people are just kind of moving away from statues in general. Like, honestly, like in today's day and age, like it would almost feel weird to erect a statue of a person, right? Obviously Bill Phillips, I'm for eternally grateful for everything that she, the foundation that she laid. She was my friend, right? Like, I knew her personally. I love Bill Phillips. But even that conversation about a new statue, that has to go through a board to be approved. It's not like the governor can just do it. The legislature can't even just do that to have a statue erected. I mean, for the symbolism of it all, it'd be incredible. I definitely agree there. I just don't see statues really being built like that, moving forward. Just thinking about, we can get into a whole idolatry conversation if you want to go there. But I don't know. We'll see what happens, but the board will have to, vote on that and make that decision. Actually, Fred Risser chairs that board. That is, the name slips in my mind right now. It'll come to me later. To me.
But the interesting thing is, though, I think to me, the real issue is if there's nothing of people of color, real representation of people of color in the Capitol or the Capitol grounds. Not just people of color, because I believe there's some Native American stuff in there. I think. Yeah,
we have the flags of the 11 federally recognized tribes in the Capitol. It's the State Capitol Executive Residence Board. They have a policy against new statues on the Capitol grounds at this moment right now. Anyway, that will prohibit that. A lot of the pictures in the Capitol. I mean, you come to my office, the governor's office has pictures of a whole lot of people of color. But I was going to say, a lot of the pictures that are there are, governors, assembly speakers that line the wall. So it's not like a whole bunch of pictures of a whole bunch of people. There's the bust of Bob LaFollette that exists in the Capitol. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of pictures that are just on the walls besides some people's offices.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the danger of that is, one, lack of representation. But if, say, you and Governor Evers are not there at some point, and the next people come in who might not have the same views as you, and they might not put pictures up, right? So what can you do to have some real representation?
Well, Scott Walker had a picture of those kids out of the executive residence when he took office. You remember the picture of the kids that are walking down the sidewalk blowing bubbles? Like he got out of the executive residence. So yeah, that's not lost on me. That reality is definitely one that could, be seen if Governor Evers was, not in office.
Yeah. So, I think it's a legit ask of how do we make sure that Black folks, Latino folks are represented in the Capitol.
Yeah.
So I was actually had me thinking about this. So is there a task force or is there anything that's going on in the state that is trying to address all the social justice issues going on right now in the state? Or is there anything that's trying to look at a big picture, trying to look at all these things moving on, and is there a task force addressing this stuff?
So I wouldn't say that there's a task force. One reason is just task forces, we want to make sure that meaningful work happens, and there is meaningful work that happens from task forces. But I think that I don't think it takes all that. I mean, there's been so much research already been done on these issues, right? The statistics are there right in front of us. This is literally just a legislature choosing not to act on these issues and or addressing or confronting social injustice or racial injustice.
Yeah. Well, it's just it was for me, I totally agree with about task force. But I just wanted to know if there's something that I want to know if someone's really focusing on these issues and trying to get ahead of them. And as you said, we know the data. We know the data's there. The data's been there for years, generations actually. And it's how do we get a plan together? Maybe it's a public and private sector plan, but how do we get a plan to actually start to implement some of those things? I would love to see you as being the first Black lieutenant governor to champion that and be an advocate for a public-private partnership or something that's actually looking at tackling some of those issues that we know are out there. I think it's needed.
Yeah, and to that point too, there are, whether it's in Dane County or in Milwaukee, we have the Greater Milwaukee Foundation. They have a well-run task force right now, and we are in communication with them. And it's where there are things already happening on the ground, we want to be able to support that work, amplify it. And we, conversely, we need them to, help the legislature move on those issues.
Yeah. I just, one, for me, I think you being the first Black lieutenant governor is important. And I don't want to, again, I'm not about politics, I'm about getting stuff done. And I think you being the first Black lieutenant governor, it would be great to have you be in an invisible role to help champion, advocate for some of these things. So it will send the right message for the state, and I think it will send the right message for some of our youth, and it would help us try to do what we're trying to do. So, I just want to, I really think that would be great for you to be part of that, help champion that. I think it's important right now that people are looking for leadership, and people are looking for leadership of color. And you're the highest at this point in the state, and I think it's just real important. It's just my 2 cents for you. That I would love for you and the governor to really talk about how you could take more of a visible role leading those things, leading that charge. I think we'll send the right message to do that.
Yeah.
Climate. What's going on with your climate stuff that you're doing? Your
climate change task force. We got our website, climatechange.wi.gov. We are going to have a listening session tonight from 6 to 8, where we'll be discussing the Great Lakes and tourism. We'll hear from Peter Annan of the Mary Griggs Bird Center for Freshwater Innovation at Northland College. A guy named James Edward Mills of the Joy Trip Project.
Yeah, James.
Yep, and Mayor Gordon Ringberg, City of Bayfield. And we want to make sure that we're hearing diverse voices, whether it's different regions of the state, people that represent different sectors of environmentalism or conservation, or mitigation of climate change. And it's important for us to be able to discuss just the different factors of our life that are all impacted by it. And again, that tonight from 6 to 8. And the next ones are Thursday, July 9th at 6 p.m. We'll be hearing from people from Badger Rock Neighborhood Center, Oneida Nation, and Marathon County. And the last session is going to be next week, Wednesday, July 15th. And again, people can also submit comments online at climatechange.wi.gov.
Are people allowed, is this live? Are people allowed to ask questions? Is this
it's live, so we do it in a discussion format the same way the governor did with the budget listening sessions, because it allowed for more productive conversation. You know, a lot of people don't want to just show up, approach the mic and talk and, have somebody jot down the notes. We want to make it more interactive, because we realize just through conversation and discussion about particular issues, people are more able to share their own personal experiences, and it helps the people who are around them to learn and also be able to contribute. To hear like, I kind of went through something like that too, or my experience is much different than that. Could it be? What could the reason be? And then some solutions end up finding themselves within those conversations.
Got it. Well, thank you for doing that, man. That's needed work. So appreciate that. And I love that how diverse you named. You said Oneida in there, James. What's up, James? Shout out to James, who's a journalist also. We see you. And so, man, I love that you're doing that, bro. So before we go, what you watching, man? Netflix, what you watching? You watch anything good? Or
not watching anything new. I might not watching anything new. I might watch Hamilton tonight.
Oh.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
It's on Disney Plus, so I might watch it tonight.
I haven't seen Hamilton, man. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I might check that out myself. Any books you're reading?
Not any new ones right now.
Okay. Man, I just got a new book. I wish I forgot the name of it. I think it's called Memo. It's a memo maybe about black women and how black women are moving up in corporate America and stuff. It's powerful. So I've been really trying to go back and read about a lot of black business folks who came up and how they came up and how they built wealth in the time of segregation and all that stuff. So I've really been on that lens for a while, man. If you get a chance, check out the documentary called Boss. BOSS. It's about black business owners from like slavery on up. It's powerful.
Oh man, all right.
You should check it out. You would enjoy it. You would enjoy it, man. And what you listen to music? What about you listening to music?
And that Free Weezy album came out. Gucci dropped the album.
Okay.
Gucci dropped So Icy Summer. I listened to that Pop Smoke a little bit. He's a rapper that got killed a little bit earlier this year.
Yeah.
It's, it is what it is. Like I'm a lot of people like it. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah. Yeah. I got the new John Legend.
Okay. I didn't see that.
It just came out last week, I think. It's good. Now, it's John. You could tell John's he's a lover. And so if you like that type of music, it's really good. It's like summer. It's a summer album. Summer album.
I need a summer album.
It feels like a summer when you hear it. It feels like summer, like you out driving in the summer. Yeah, so check that out, man. That's what I'm jamming to right now. That I didn't know the Free Weezy one was out though. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, all right, Black man. We appreciate everything you're doing, man. Everything you're doing over there for Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes. I appreciate you being so accessible for the people and keep being a champion advocate for us, man. We'll see you next time. See you next week. And I'm scared to see what the numbers will be next week for COVID-19, man.
Yeah, you telling me?
I'm scared to see. But all right, people at Real Talk, we'll see you next time. We appreciate you.